Marriage is just a piece of paper, and so was the contract he signed when he bought that Jeep, except for when you sign on the dotted line to get married, you're entitled to Social Security benefits, death benefits, insurance coverage, bereavement leave, being able to file wrongful death suits.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amaomi, aka Petite Diva, and in this video we are talking about how women view marriage and how they should view marriage. This video is inspired by a video where a woman said that women don't really think marriage through before entering into marriage.
So let's talk about how women know who they marrying, still marry them, then 5-10 years later or less, we have to hear you crying about who you married, even though, ma'am, did you not know who you married, ma'am? The problem is women get married with the idea that if I change my mind or if I don't like this, I can get a divorce. Women do not marry a man thinking to themselves, I need to really fully accept this man for who he is. And do I think this man can protect, provide, sustain, and be my companion? 95% of the time, you're going to have to acquiesce to him. So women spend so much time dating a man thinking, does he want to marry me? You need to be thinking about, do you really want to marry him? You get so caught up in the season of, oh, I like him, I'm in love with him, I want to marry him. No, ma'am. Are you paying attention to how this man moves? Are you paying attention and playing this out in your minds of, am I going to be able to acquiesce and live in unison and peace with this man until one of us dies?
So basically in that video, she was talking about how women should vet the character of the men that they are marrying. Now, while dating, they should assess their partner, that they should ask themselves if they can cope and live peacefully with the partner that they've chosen, and that women need to assess their partners and ask themselves if the characters that their partners possess, if the attitude, the behaviors that their partner possess, and if they can cope and live peacefully with their partners for a long time till they'll do them part. So she's basically saying that women should not be looking at just the does he want to marry me, the marriage ceremony, the proposal, the engagement, that they should think further ahead and think about if they can stay with their partner for a long time. Now, this video got me thinking about how women should view marriage and how they can choose men that will add value to their lives and not men that will destroy their lives. So let's check out what some women had to say about how women should view marriage.
Why is it that nobody wants to say the quiet part out loud about marriage? And that's that marriage is a business contract. It's about wealth. It's about financial partnership. For women especially, it's about security. When we say that out loud, you call women gold diggers and say that they should be marrying for love, or that a marriage should be based on love first. Choosing a husband.
Marriage is just a piece of paper, and so was the contract he signed when he bought that Jeep, except for when you sign on the dotted line to get married, you're entitled to Social Security benefits, death benefits, insurance coverage, bereavement leave, being able to file wrongful death suits, visiting if your partner go to jail, and then division of marital assets if y'all divorce. And the thing is, when he bought that Jeep and signed that piece of paper, it cost him $40,000. To sign a piece of paper to legally tie himself to you, it's going to cost him $40. And he still won't do it. And some of y'all are like, well, not all of us strive to marriage. I'm not talking to y'all. Some of y'all are like, oh yeah, well, I didn't get married because I don't want to lose my benefits. Also not talking to y'all. I'm talking to the people that came on here and said that their partner bought a house, a car, multiple vehicles, started businesses before marrying them. That is a red flag, girlfriend. Marriage covers your ass, okay? Marriage gives you legal ties to all the assets that he's getting. Because what happens if y'all break up? You are not entitled to any of those assets, my dear friend. Y'all are trying to be lifelong companions, very special friend. Y'all will not be able to make any medical decisions. What happens if he dies? What happens if he's in a coma and there's medical decisions to be made? You have to hope that his family is going to let you make those decisions. And most of the time they won't, baby. Marriage covers your ass.
I think this comment is 1,000% spot on. And that's why when I try and talk about my marriage, especially because I am so happily married, I definitely express that it is the exception to the rule. I think it's important that we all take like a really realistic look at ourselves and at the people and the relationships around us and realize that like the happily ever after version of marriage is much more the exception than the rule. And I say this as somebody who is like enamored with my husband and happily married. But these ideas or these ideals for women, being a wife, being a mother, have always been seen as the natural progression of a woman's life. And I think we need to start really talking about these things as options. Because if somebody is to ask me if marriage is worth it, I can only say it's worth it for me. Same thing with motherhood. It's worth it for me. And a lot of those circumstances come from luck. And in motherhood, a lot of those circumstances come from privilege. I share my happiness in my marriage and in my motherhood journey because it is a reality for me, but I'm very aware of it not being the reality for a lot of people.
I made a post about how women don't benefit from marriage and the incels went crazy. In this video, we're going to go through all the reasons. But let's start here. The consensus from most men in the comments were that women do benefit from marriage through divorce. So they seem to be in agreement that the best part of marriage for women is leaving. If that were true, which it's not, I think that would make my point. Let's go through finances, child custody, and health. Is marriage worth it for women? The benefits mostly go to men. Currently, over 50% of households have a dual income. I read this as women are taking half of their own stuff. In those households, despite a dual income, women are still doing the lion's share of domestic labor and emotional labor. In a divorce, women's income drops on average by 20%. Divorced men see an average of 30% increase in their income. Post-divorce, 20% of women find themselves in poverty compared to 11% of men. Let's talk alimony. Alimony has been gender neutral since 1979. It's the breadwinner who pays. In the 1960s, 25% of men were paying alimony post-divorce. Today, that number is 10%. And I know the math is right here, but I'm going to say it anyway. 90% of marriages end with no alimony whatsoever. 90 to 95% of the time that alimony is paid, it was settled out of court, meaning a judge didn't weigh in and didn't order it. In the cases where a judge orders it, there's a large discrepancy between the spouse's income and assets. Short marriages are less likely to get any alimony. Judges are looking at if one spouse sacrificed their career or potential earnings. And so if they didn't, alimony wouldn't be awarded. Now let's talk child custody. Studies show that when fathers ask for custody, they get it. Conversely, as fathers tend not to ask for custody, they don't get it. Most custody cases are settled out of court. For absolute clarity, most fathers are giving custody to the mothers, not losing custody. Do you see the difference? Now we're going to talk about health, and that will lead me into my last point. Why do women even want to get married if it doesn't benefit them? You know when married women nag their partners? You really going to have that third beer? Babe, I think you need to go get that mole looked at with the doctor. Men seem to hate that, and yet it is the direct reason why married men live longer lives and healthier lives than unmarried men. I've read that men resist marriage because they know that it requires a substantial behavior change on their part. They associate marriage with increased responsibilities and potential financial loss. And yet, those things aren't true. Our culture sets expectations high for women and low for men. Getting married has historically brought a large change in how men see themselves and how they behave. If marriage has been a particularly strong signal of change in men's committed behavior, it would explain the stereotype of women pushing for marriage and men resisting.
Contract of marriage. In Islam, yes, there is love and there's interest and there's all of that, but at the end of the day, it is a contract. You are entering into a mutual agreement that is the most serious agreement on earth. Allah calls it in the Quran, مِيثَاقًا غَلِيظًا, a very serious contract. It is a contract. It is a contract because you are giving something, they're giving something, you're exchanging something. It's human lives that you're dealing with here. So it is a contract. There are rights, responsibilities, agreements, everything. But it's not like a business contract. It's not like buying a house. There's love involved. There's mutuality. There's kindness. There's generosity. There's courtesy. So when people enter into a marriage contract, take it easy. Don't sit there talking about every nitty-gritty right. Take it easy, give and take, be easy. Remember we said make the halal easy, so the haram becomes difficult.
Now, some of the women were of the opinion that women should view marriage as a contract, that they should not view marriage as just a piece of paper, especially for those that are in a long-term relationship and probably have kids for their partner, that they should realize that the marriage certificate actually protects them from a lot of things. She talked about the financial aspect. She talked about the fact that if a partner has a medical condition, that if you are not legally married to the partner, that you'll not be able to make any decision towards the medical care of the partner. So she was of the opinion that the marriage certificate protects women from a lot of things and also gives them like a security, especially if they divorce. Now, another person is saying that marriage is not worth it for women, that usually from studies that men benefit more from marriage than women. So she cited different reasons like financial, children, and the rest. Now, personally, I feel like marriage is a lifetime contract, is a lifetime commitment, and women need to be more practical when they are choosing their partner. Now, a lot of women only think of being married. They think about the engagement ring, the engagement, the proposal, the wedding dress, and all the fun bits. But they forget that after the wedding ceremony, everybody goes back to their houses, and you and your spouse are the ones that will stay in the house. Through the bad time, through the good time, you are the one that will be experiencing it. So it's not enough to just think about, oh, this wedding ceremony is going to be the talk of the town, and I'm going to wear verwang, I'm going to wear that. The work starts after everybody has gone home, after you've gone on your honeymoon and you come back. If some people discover some things from the honeymoon, some people even discover some attitudes that they did not see while dating, even from the honeymoon. So you need to be more practical. You need to vet your partner very, very well to make sure that you are not just blinded by love, because like my mother would say, love is not blind, it wears glasses so that you can see clearly. So if you see red flags during the dating phase, during the courtship, do not excuse it like, oh, something happened, this. Now you need to take note of it, and if you see a lot of red flags, please pick up your shoes and leave. He will not change when married, because a lot of people keep saying that it will change when he gets married. So they see the red flag and they excuse it, and they say, oh, when he gets married, it will change. And so many people will tell them that if they are complaining about some certain situation, and they're like, oh, he will change when he gets married. Usually a guy would become worse when he gets married, because then he feels like, oh, I've gotten the girl, I've secured the girl, I don't need to try as much as before, I can be on my bad behavior, she's not going anywhere. Especially for some African men who believe that once they've married a woman, that they can do and undo, and most of the time the woman will not leave. Even if a woman leaves, the parents of the woman will come and beg him, and then she will be back and everything. So you cannot say, oh, we change in marriage. It's most times it doesn't happen like that. So people need to make better decisions. They need to shine. In my country, we say shine your eyes, which is look very well, so you are not blinded by rose-colored glasses or whatever. So if you notice some red flag, you discuss it, analyze it, and it doesn't take steps to sort out some of the things that are red flags for you, then you might need to leave, because it might be a disaster to continue with the relationship. So I feel like people should vet their partners very well. They should also vet themselves to see if they can cope with some of the things that their partner does, so that it doesn't become an issue later on in years. So that is my own thought about this whole discourse, about this whole topic. I would love to hear what you think about some of the things that were mentioned in this video. Do you think that marriage is like a contract? Do you think that marriage is just a piece of paper? Do you think that women don't benefit from marriage? Do you think that men are the ones that benefit more from marriage? Do you think that women should vet their partner? They should think carefully before choosing a man to marry, and they should not just think about just the glam and glitz that comes with the wedding, the engagement ring, and the proposal. I would love to hear your thoughts about this whole discussion. So please leave your comment in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe. And don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.